What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe back with another slate breakdown because you know what time it is. We got college football again today. Three games. Uh, One good game, two mid-level games. Really, it's not that great of a slate if I'm going to be very honest. But nonetheless, we're going to break it down because I think I found some value picks that definitely look really good after doing a little bit of research, and I'm going to give it to you. If you guys are new here, welcome to the No Days Off DFS channel. I am your host, Zoe. If you guys enjoying the content, please go ahead, look down there, right down there, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know that I am doing something right, I'm doing something good, and thank you all for your support. And if you guys would like to join one of the coolest and best Patreons in the world, check the link down in the description below for the No Days Off DFS Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you will make that back within your first week. We drop picks for not only college football and the NFL, we're also dropping stuff for MLB, hockey when that starts back up, NBA. We even got a FIBA content. All of that, soccer, NASCAR, you name it, we got it. And even the esports. I know for some reason everybody likes esports. We got that too. So if you guys would like to check us out, just look down to the link in the description below. It is only $10, and I promise you, you will make that back. All right, guys. Without nonetheless, let's go ahead. Let's break this down right here. Like I said, there's three games on the slate. They really didn't give us all of the quarterbacks and everything for today's slate necessarily. There's only three quarterbacks on the board, and technically we should have six of them since there are three games. But that should just tell you about how bad some of these teams are going to be on today. If you guys are new to playing college football, more or less, there's a lot of blowouts. So you got to really kind of tread lightly with the blowouts. The game totals and things like that definitely are a big indicator of what's going to go on in those games. Because as you know, we got cross conferences and stuff like that. If you guys are not big on following that stuff, don't worry. As long as you know the basics in regards to what's going on, then you're pretty fine in regards to finding you some pretty good value and things like that on the slate. All right, so going over to the first game, I'm going to go and I'm just going to highlight the players that I dug into, that I found, and I'm going to let you guys hear the research that I put in. And you guys can make your assumptions, and I'm going to give you guys a 5-pick flex that you could definitely run today that I feel pretty confident in that, hey, it's either going to go 5 for 5 or 4 for 5, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw it out there. All right, starting off with the first game, we got Syracuse taking on UVA. This is a 53.5 total. I want to say it's the highest total on the slate, if I'm not mistaken, and it's favored in regards for Syracuse. Syracuse, they look pretty good coming out the gate for the season. UVA, they're a mid-level team, not too bad, but they do have some holes and stuff in their defense that I do believe that we can exploit right here for today. Starting with the first play that I'm looking at was Strader. So looking at Garrett Strader, he is a dual threat quarterback. He can take the ball and he can definitely get some pretty good rushing attempts out there. He does split the time with Tucker as his back. But when you're looking at UVA, they are definitely allowing quite a bit of rushing yards to opposing running backs and to those mobile quarterbacks. They really haven't faced too many mobile quarterbacks to start the season, but they're allowing 173.6 rushing yards on the ground. So that's more than enough, plenty of enough rushing yards for both Strader and for Tucker. And that's why I do like his rushing yards for today's slate. They got it at 69.5 right now. He's 2 for 3 on the season right now. Once against Purdue, the other one going against the Cardinals early this season, and then he didn't do too hot going against UConn. But UConn, they actually have a pretty good, pretty decent run defense out there. Heavy favorites in this game. Well, if you want to consider a 10-point spread in favor of Syracuse, a heavy favorite, unlike some of the other games where that's a really heavy favorite. But this game is expected to be somewhat closer than the other ones. They are still considered favorable, so we can see him tuck the ball and run quite a bit in this game. Some of the ones that I don't mind and that I definitely do have some interest in will be his rushing yards, his pass and rushing yards. For his pass and rushing yards, he's actually 2 for 3 on the season for that as well. Of course, kind of correlates with his rushing yards for when he's gone over that, and he's 2 for 3 on the rushing yards for the season. So both of these are not bad picks, especially if you do believe that he's going to get there with his legs. He's going to crush get at least 70 rushing yards on the day. Then that should be no problem, especially if he's getting at least that 215, 220 in regards to his passing yards, which I don't hate his passing yards, but I just feel like the weak run D that they have, that we're definitely going to see more of a running approach, especially whenever you get up on a team, you typically do try to run the ball quite a bit. I did have a lot of interest in his passing touchdowns. It was at 1.5 earlier, and on sportsbooks, I want to say he was a 145 favorite to go over that. They did bump it up to 2 touchdowns now. So right now he's technically 3 for 3 on the season in regards to this. That first game going against the Cardinals, he did tie it, and in the past 2 games, he has thrown for 3 touchdowns. You can still definitely take the over on this one right here, but beware, he could definitely push this one right here. I still do have some interest, but not as high since they did bump it to 2 touchdowns. Now, if I'm ranking his props, the prop that I would take first of all is going to be his rushing yards, just because he does see a pretty good amount of rushing carries. He's seeing double-digit carries through the first 3 games of the season, so I'll have some interest in that one. Then it'll be his passing rushing yards, followed by his passing touchdowns, and then his passing yards. Not really no interest in the rushing touchdowns. I know he's covered this in 2 out of the 3 games, but really I kind of have Tucker more for that rushing touchdown upside. It's not a bad play, but not one that I'm going to necessarily be on for today. And then of course, if we do believe that he's going to smash all these props right here, you can definitely take a chance on his fantasy point prop. He is 3 for 3 on the season for fantasy points, and in a game that is expected to be close, you're going to see a quarterback out there, and he kind of has a hand in everything out there for them. So at 26 fantasy points, I can't see him going over that, but I kind of like more of the stat categories for today, but definitely is a strong play in regards to that 26 fantasy points right there. Moving down to Armstrong. So since we're going to be seeing, I'm game scripting this to be a run heavy approach kind of for Syracuse, especially since they're expected to be up and everything. So that means that UVA, they should be playing from behind. That means that Armstrong, he should have to throw the ball quite a bit. With that, I do have some interest in that 244.5 passing yards over. I know he is only 2 for 3 on the season in regards to this, but in a game where you are going to be expected to pass the ball quite a bit, I'm going to have to lean the over on this. I know this is even money right now in the books, 24.5, not bad. We do know that he can definitely get there. And like I said, the game script is going to be in our favor in regards to him having to pass the ball quite a bit. Pass completions, I did have an interest in this earlier. It was at 19.5, and he was set, I want to say 2 for 3 on, yeah, he was 2 for 3 on the season when this was at 19.5. They bumped it to 20.5. I don't hate it, but I don't like it as much as what he had in regards to his when it was at 19.5. Had a much stronger chance for him to definitely cash it over. Then they have his passing touchdowns at 1.5. This one right here, I want to say he's 1 for 3 on the season in regards to this. On the books, they actually have him as a negative 135 for him to go under the 2 touchdowns. I definitely can see that correlation in regards to the scoring, in regards to what they're expecting for the score for this game. Really, this one's kind of either a under or fade for me. I don't really have a strong take in this. I'm really looking for something that's definitely going to cash. Not really strong suit, not something that I'm looking at in regards to playing right there for today. Going over to rushing yards, looking at running back, Tucker. 103.5 rushing yards. I know that looks like it's a lot. It looks like it's a lot, but I do believe that he could definitely go over. Now, I know looking at his game like he's only going over this 1 out of the 3 games that they've had already this season. But like I said, UVA, they are allowing 173.6 rushing yards on the ground. So Tucker, a player who is averaging close to 22 rushing attempts a game, 22 rushing attempts. Keep that in mind. Definitely will have the chance to go over this 100%. And considering that UVA, they did just allow 146 yards on 20 carries to Chase Brown earlier the season. I want to say that was 2 games ago that they did this. So I do have a lot of interest in this part right here, especially just looking at the production in regards to what Tucker can definitely go out there and do. I like it right here for him. And then also he does tend to catch some passes out of the backfield and things like that. So if you are looking at another one of his props, we could definitely take his rush and pass receiving yards for that 126. That's more of a lean for me, not something I'm too heavy on. I do have a lot of interest in his 0.5 rushing touchdowns. I do believe that he will definitely get there. He is 2 for 3 on the season in regards to this. And in a team that struggles to stop the run, I can see sorry. I could have sworn that they had Tucker up here earlier. Darn it, he is not up there. So ignore that one right there. But if they were to put Tucker back up, put Tucker up, I would definitely take the over on his rushing touchdowns. And then in a game that I'm expecting the run game to dominate, I do have some interest in his fantasy points scored for the 22 fantasy points. I could definitely see him going over this. I know right now he's only 2 for 3 on the season for this, and one of those games was very close with 22.9. But again, in the game that we're expected for him to be able to dominate in the run game, especially for expecting him to be able to punch 1 or 2 in, I can't see him going over that 22 fantasy points. But the highest one that I have on my radar for me today is going to be that 103.5 rushing yards for him right there. Going over to the receivers from this game, receiving yards. So it's really interesting, especially since we're expecting UVA to have to pass quite a bit. Of course, we're going to be wanting to target their wide receivers, Keontae Thompson and Devontae, Wicks, they are the top two receivers for this team, with Wicks being the wide receiver one and Thompson being the wide receiver two. Looking at it on the year, I have more interest in Wicks for his 63.5 receiving yards over. I know looking at his game log, he's only gone over this once out of the 3 games that they played this season. And of course, when you look at it, that one game is going to be the most recent game. But the amount of targets that he is seeing has me really, really interested in this. And I'm going to read it out to you. So he's seeing 11, 15, and 12 targets in the first 3 games that they've played. 11, 15, and 12. Granted, he's not catching all of them, but just the amount of targets that he is seeing, the target share is there for him. If they had his receiving receptions up here, I would definitely take that, but they don't. They have his receiving yards. In a game that I'm expecting them to have to pass quite a bit and be playing from behind, I'll definitely be taking his receiving yards in this game. Keontae Thompson, looking at this one right here, 72.5, yes, very interesting, considering that he can definitely get there. Again, for him, he is also 1 out of 3 on the season at 72.5 receiving yards. But his receptions, those are more the bread and butter and what I think will be a much better play. He is, if you want to count the push, 2 for 3 on the season with, of course, one of those being a push. And his target share so far, he has seen the second most targets on the team with 6, 6, and 12 targets so far. And that one where he went over, he had 9, and of course that was in the game that he saw 12 targets. So as you can see, he's definitely getting targeted quite a bit. I do believe that this will either be a push or over in a game, once again, that we're expecting for them to be playing from behind and then definitely having to air it out and pass. So those are the plays that I have from this game. Going down to the next game, which would have been the Air Force and Nevada game, I have no interest in that game. That is definitely a fade for me. Pretty much expected blowout in favor of Air Force. If you want to, Nevada, they are really not that great. They have Jamal Bell, 37.5. He's technically the wide receiver one on this team. He's gone over his receiving prop 1 out of 3 for the season. I personally will be taking the under on this. Their quarterback is not too great for Nevada. 37.5. If you want to take that, it's a lean. I'm not telling you guys to play it, but just throwing it out there. If you guys look for something, I'd put it into a 5-pick play, if anything, if I'm going to play that. Coming out to the next game, going out to Boise State, taking on, what are they taking on? Looks like that's Temp. UTEP, I really don't have too much interest in this game outside of Holland. Holland is the only one that I have interest in from this, and that's because he is facing another weak run D. They are allowing 150 plus yards on the ground, so I have a lot of interest in his rushing yards. They have it at 82.5. Definitely can see him being able to clear this. Yes, he is only 1 for 3 on the season, but I will say he is still averaging close to 19 rushing attempts a game, and his rushing attempts have continued to increase over the past couple weeks, ramping up with each game that he has played. And really, rushing attempts, it kind of looks like they're leaning in comparison to what he's done. And and what's been going on in regards to how Boise State is doing going up against the other team. Last game going up against T&M, they blew them out of the water. So he definitely got to see a whole bunch of carries and definitely something to consider. That 82.5. Another that you can consider for Holland would be his receiving and uh, rushing yards. That 110.5. He does tend to catch some passes out of the backfield. So another play that I do have some interest in as well in there. And then if you want to take a GPP flyer, that would be on Hardison. Where is the pass completions? Hardison at 20.5 pass completions. He is 1 for 3 on the season. That was only in the first game of the season. Last game, he attempted 44 pass attempts, did not go over this. Yes, he only got 20. Compared to the 20.5 line. They are going to be playing from behind. They are expected to be passing quite a bit, but Boise State has not allowed over 20.5 pass completions to any quarterback that they faced this season. They have kept them to 14, 13, and 17 or 18 pass completions thus far this season. So if you're looking for a GPP play or better yet, a lean, that would be considered a lean for today. Gavin Harrison is definitely one that you can definitely consider in regards to playing today. So that's really going to be the plays that I'm on for today. And then if I'm going to be putting together a card or anything that I'll be playing for today, I'd go with Armstrong over his pass attempts, rushing yards, pick your poison in regards to Senior Tucker and Schrader. But I'm going to take the running back, Tucker, in regards to that. And then I will take the fantasy points scored for Schrader for him to go over that. And then just we'll keep it all inside this game right here in regards to the receiving yards. I just have a feeling in regards to Wicks, I believe they're going to definitely be passing quite a bit, and he definitely has a chance to go over that. And then just because I liked the pass completion one for Hardison, I'll be taking the under on that. So here goes a pretty nice 5 play that you can play today. If you want 100% like power two that I like from this whole list right here. That would be Tucker over his rushing yards and Brennan Armstrong over his passing yards would be a power two that I would run for today from the picks that I gave out. All right, guys, that's going to be it. That's going to be my breakdown for today. If you guys enjoyed the content, please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. Let me know that I'm doing something great and right. And once again, if you guys would like to join the No Days Off DFS fam, check down the link in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you, you'll make that back within your first week. And hey, hopefully, I see you guys in the green.